Well, every new year we have another chance at starting fresh. New Year's resolutions are made, some kept up with, and maybe others quickly slip away. But in any case, it's an opportunity to gain a little motivation and tackle problems that may have piled up in our lives throughout the year. One common problem, clutter. That's why certified wellness coach Julie Manning presents organization tips to control your clutter, leading you to a healthier lifestyle in 2014.
My entire life I've been a slob. Totally disorganized, paper everywhere. I couldn't find things. I had to keep going to the school and getting duplicate copies of everything. About 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with adult ADD. All of a sudden it made sense. I'm not defective, my brain works differently. So I said, I know how to tackle this, and I went about getting books and doing research and whatnot, and slowly but surely, I'm almost there. I have a system for the bills, everything gets paid on time. There's a giant shredder next to the mail center. If it doesn't go in the bill envelope, it goes in the shredder. But that's how I ended up here. When I was diagnosed with ADD and I learned all of these coping mechanisms, helping people with organization and whatnot was what I wanted to do, but I felt like I had to be certified. So I went to school for a year to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York. Now I have a diploma that says Certified Holistic Health Coach. But anyway, what I want to know is what brought you here? You said cleaning out the garage.
And here comes her solution for just about every room in the house.
This is my system for all of it. Keep, toss, donate. These are kept folded flat behind my dresser for when I need them, because if they're bulky in my house, they get filled with stuff, or I throw them away. But I can tackle pretty much any room with this system. And I've heard some folks say that, well, what about a We'll See box? No.
It's a more clutter box.
Yes, it's a more clutter box. But anyway, kitchen, bedroom, dresser, garage, start in a corner, and you don't have to do it all at once. As long as the boxes are in the room, then you just walk by, here's 5 things that will go in a box.
Next on the sheet, her quick fix for organizing receipts, important documents, or just about any paper.
Because I am an out of sight, out of mind kind of person, I have to be able to see everything. One of the ways I do that is with these nifty little boxes. These are stuffed Tainers. I get them at Life's Memories and More over in Schoolhouse Commons. They're $2 and $3 a piece. But they're hinged, so you can't lose the top. And you can see what's in them. I can't use file folders, because if I put it in a file folder, I can't see it and I forget it's there.
Keeping the counters clear seems to be a pesky problem for everyone. Something to try, vertical space.
One of my issues was the paper pile by the front door. How many people here have an issue with the runaway paper pile? All right. I tried every system out there. I took a little bit from this one and a little bit from that one and a little bit from this one. And this is what I ended up with. Obviously, this isn't the one that actually has my bills in it, but I go for vertical space. Put the bills in here. You put the bank statements in here. One pocket is for the pencils and the stamps and the checkbook. And because I was forever forgetting what had to be paid when, just went into Word and printed up what gets paid when. And then when it's time to pay, I figure out between dates, pull this off the wall, and go from there. Now, I live with a pack rat. He has an issue with throwing anything away. I still have boxes in the basement.
I have a pack rat and a collector.
Yeah, he does that too.
Very similar thing.
Yeah. I have large plastic tubs in the basement that are filled with the bills, the envelopes, and the inserts that came in them, because it was hard for him to part with any of it. So now this hangs on the wall by the front door. I have an envelope for each month. And then as I pay the bill, I pull out only the statement, and I print out from each website where the bill has been paid. And then I stick it in the envelope, and it's all there. Then at the end of the year, I bundle all 12 envelopes up, and I stick them in a filing cabinet. This year, I think, 3 years in, I'm going to pull out the first year, pull out what I need, and then shred the rest. But this keeps me from adding another box of paper to my basement.
Making sure you hold on to the things that you need, but shredding the rest.
I have one of these hanging on the inside of my pantry door, and that's how I sort the spices. I put little labels on each clear pocket. These are the spices that are in this pocket, because I kept going to make a recipe and I couldn't find anything. I have 5 bottles of cinnamon, 3 containers of pepper, 10 bottles of vanilla and assorted extracts. So I do what I have to do. Now, does anybody have a specific issue that they were hoping to get help with tonight?
I was going to say, where do you hang them all to make them handy for when you run? You don't want
Okay.
them to be out in the view all the time.
Well, the one by the front door with the bills in it, for me, has to be by the front door, but I keep it neat and tidy so that it's not an eyesore. But most of these are hung on the wall in my office, around the computer desk.
Overwhelmed clutter victims expressed how they often just don't know where to start.
Make a list. I have a wipe-off board that I keep on the kitchen table, and every day when I get up, I make a list. And so it feels like I actually accomplished things and get to scratch things off. I start with breakfast. Take a shower, get dressed, clean the living room, clean the kitchen, and then whatever needs to be done from there. Plan menus, make the grocery list. And because I have notebooks all over my house that are half started with lists. And I was wasting paper. There's one on the refrigerator. When I realize I need, an ingredient for cooking, I write it down. And then there's 2 on the kitchen table, one for my list and one for whatever happens to pop into my head during the day.
A common problem for parents, what to do with all that schoolwork from kindergarten to high school.
See, that's a scary question to ask me, because I also have boxes in the basement of every paper my kids ever brought home from school for the first 6 years of their lives. For that, I would probably go with something on the idea of this, or maybe a stuffed tainer. Say, okay, this child is allowed to have this much paper. How am I going to choose what to put in there? My theory in the beginning was to take a paper from the beginning of the year, say penmanship or math, one from the middle and one from the end, so you can see progress. And then you're not keeping everything, unfortunately. There was an issue on this counter, and I flipped it upside down, and we put, the stuff that had to be on the counter on the bottom shelf, and then on the top shelf we did the sugar bowl and napkin holder and whatnot, simply because spread out, it looks like clutter, but if you can corral it in a smaller space, then visually your brain is getting used to clear surface. Is it? Good.
And an even more common problem for just about everyone, letting go of favorite clothes.
If you haven't used it in 6 months, then donate it or toss it. people used to say a year. If I kept everything that I've used at least in the last year, I wouldn't throw anything away. It would all stay. So I go with 6 months. If it doesn't fit you, I mean, and when it comes to getting rid of clothes, I used to keep clothes because, I bought them at that nice store. And even though they don't fit me anymore, I can't throw them away. Guess what? You can sell that stuff on Amazon or eBay. And every so often I get a couple of bucks in my PayPal account because I posted up the pictures of this stuff. For me, that helps stem the guilt of, yes, yeah. And yeah, if you haven't used it in 6 months, and that's probably the single rule I try to stick with. And yeah, I haven't worn that outfit in 6 months, and it's wildly too big now. Oh, wait a minute, I can get $10 off of Amazon. Okay, I'll do that. And I don't feel so bad about, as my husband says, I can't get rid of that. I paid a lot of money for it. Well, I'm getting money back for it. Bye.
Among the group, getting rid of clutter didn't seem to be the problem. It was finding motivation to do so.
I put podcasts on my phone when I don't want to stop. When doing that stuff seems boring, I pop in the headphones. And I'm listening to something. That's how I get myself to walk. I put in the headphones for the podcast, and then while I'm listening, walking doesn't seem so terribly boring. And I don't realize, oh, look, I'm almost done with my 5 miles. Your brain gets accustomed to seeing a cluttered space and thinks that that's normal. If you can clear off one tiny little surface and leave it clean for a couple of days, then your brain will relearn that clear is normal, and supposedly it will make it easier for you to keep that surface clear. That's why I went with the dumpster for the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 years that we had kids. Every single spring I rented a dumpster. And I went through the basement, and I went through the shed, and then the dumpster would go away, and everything would be shiny clean, and then the stuff would come back. You know, the stuff that let's clean the living room. Oh, the living room is so shiny. Where are we going to put this stuff? I'll just stick it in the basement.
All of that stuff doesn't necessarily need to go in the dumpster. Places like Goodwill make a great new home.
Oh, big brothers, big sisters. Keep their phone number on your refrigerator. They come out at least once a month and will take your stuff away for free. Once you have cleared out the extra, maintaining it's not that hard. It takes me like 3 minutes to run through the living room and the kitchen after breakfast because I've gotten rid of all the extra stuff. Getting rid of the extra stuff is the hard part.
Just remember, a place for everything and everything in its place. Julie Manning can be reached through Facebook, email, and her website, simplyfocusedwellnesscoaching.com. Happy cleaning. I'm Darcy Fortune, M-PACT-TV.